It's Sunday morning, and the men of InterQuest, the action figures, are here to prepare this Sunday. We're preparing a sacred fire. We've got Jim Scruggs and David Fuller and myself, Patrick, and we're going to create this sacred fire, and we're going to dedicate this service to all the members of InterQuest. We're going to call forth all the grandfathers and the grandmothers of InterQuest. We're going to call forth all those entities that have loved and supported InterQuest over time, and now we bless our spiritual family now. All those that come to this church and that are affiliated with us, we love this church, this sacred space, and so we open up our hearts this day, connecting with God, our Father, and then connecting with our family and brother man. And we're getting ready to light this sacred fire. We're going to let David, our new young male action figure, light the fire. Yeah, that's not look nice. So Jesus just gets baptized by John, and then he's carried off into the wilderness. And like in the New Testament, it's Satan take him out there, and there's all these temptations and stuff. But like metaphysically, we all go into the wilderness, and we all go into the wilderness when we are creating a new relationship with life. Because we don't want to take our old into it. We want, well, how am I going to act now? And so the purpose for him was to go in there. It's like, since he was creating a new path for man, how do I want this to look? See what I'm saying? He didn't want it to look like the old religions and everything. He didn't, and that's why he didn't want to. Here, if you're the Messiah, turn these stones into rocks into bread. And he goes, well, magicians can do that. People. My proof is the words and the actions I do. Go into town and climb to the temple and jump off, and the angels will surely save you. No, I'm not going to tempt the Lord. I'm going to just follow my guidance. It's not mine to tell or, have God do what I want. Yeah. And I said, well, okay, listen, you're really cool. Why don't you set up a school and you can have all the money and all the fame of the world. He says, I didn't come here for money or fame. He said, I came here for man. And so all of us, as we make changes in our life, so metaphysically from that, it's like we're trying to create a new relationship with life. How am I going to act? What do I want my life to look like? And so a lot of times when we make changes, there is chaos because there's a lot of unknown and everything. And so the main thing is just to, be true to yourself. That's the whole key. So Jesus is saying, it's the Father within, we're all spirit, we're connected with God through that spirit within our heart, and just continue following guidance. Ask for guidance, follow the guidance. And that's what allows us to continue to evolve through life. That's how man evolves through life. And everyone does this, but I think it's cool to look at why he was creating a new relationship with life instead of just going and being tempted. Like in the New Testament, it's just this big temptation. You're tempted. And then this outside energy has so much power over you. And so he's going, no, the power's within. Power's within us all. And we just connect with that power, and then we can change, we can create. And it was time to change. And so that's what that whole purpose was. And for Jesus in his thing, he had cleared his chakras and everything through Egypt and Heliopolis, and then he's getting this transformation in the baptism. He's going to do this, an outer symbol for the inner change that's happening within him, and that's what you make these changes. And then now to go in to create a new relationship with the world, a world teacher, a new relationship, but doing it a different way, and to create a new path for men to follow. And it's just a path of the heart. It's not a path of miracles and a lot of physical toys and trinkets and things like that, and fame and fortune. It's begin to connect with our heart, and then connect with our brother man. And we can look right now, and the things that are happening in the world right now, if more and more people are connected with their heart because they're looking at the brother man and the planet in need. And so people open their hearts, and they're given on a lot of different levels. And so we can see there's been some progress. And so then he goes out into the desert for 40 days. And that's how long it takes, metaphysically, which is cool. And then after that, his disciples find him, they take him and feed him. And then he goes to John's little camp, and he's with them and everything. And so this is chapter 67. It's pretty cool. Jesus visits John at the Jordan. And so Jesus goes to see John. John's got a bunch of people following him because he's been the harbinger, preparing the way for Jesus. And so he's baptizing people at the river and everything. So he's got a lot of followers, and he has disciples following him. And just prior to this, 6 of John's disciples join up Jesus because they know he's the Christ. And that's what John wants them to do. So he's at the ford in the river, and John says, Jesus, speak to the people. And so this Jesus goes, you men of Israel, hear, the kingdom is at hand. Behold, the great key keeper of the age stands in your midst, and with the spirit of Elijah he has come. And John the Baptist, reincarnation of Elijah. And they kind of ask that in the New Testament. In the Aquarian, they really make it clear on his coming back to put the faith of the Judaism to rest a little bit, to birth the Christian faith. And so this is about John. Behold, for he has turned the key, the mighty gates fly open, and he who may greet the king enter in. Behold these multitudes of men, women, children, they throng the avenues, they crowd the outer courts. Each seems to be intent to be the first to meet the king. And what it is like they're turning the key, and the gates open to a new age. It's the age of Pisces. And they've come out of the age of Aries. So they're moving into the age of Pisces now, a new relationship with God again. And so it's really cool how they tell this in the Aquarian, where before in religion it's always a mystery, or we'll tell you later because you can't understand now.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much getting it out there. And then it's going, so like John's message of repent means to just change, turn back to God. That's what they're doing. And he's just preparing the way, because that's what Jesus is really teaching them too. But Jesus is saying the way to God is through love, it's not through law. They've been in law for thousands of years. So we're going to go, now the path is love. And so John cracks their hardened shell so that Christ, the love, can begin to quicken in their hearts and they can go. And so then what we have to do is what it is to begin to clear our thoughts and beliefs and patterns that hold us to the past. And so like through the baptismal rite of going in, water is symbolic of washing away, the outer trappings and revealing the inner discipline that we're having to change. And so the people, it's really neat. And so a lot of people are coming to get baptized, and they're coming like every other week. They're not changing. And John's going, hey, this doesn't get it, you guys. You gotta change. You got to change your evil ways, baby. You see? And
they're coming and getting it and then coming back?
Yes, they're getting baptized
every other week? Well, I screwed up last week. Let me go back.
Exactly right. You say, this way says, behold, the thousands come to hear the wild man of the hills. They come in crowds, and he may wash them in the crystal flood, and with their lips they do confess their sins. But when the morrow comes, we find them in their haunts of vice, again, reviling John and cursing God and heaping insults on the king. And that's what it's like. It's really cool because they let people have it in a good way. Like John and Jesus both.
Yeah.
It's like, because we always think Jesus, just peaceful and calm.
Yeah.
No, we see you.
Until he needs to clean out the temple.
Didn't I see you at the river yesterday? Oh, you're down at Manuel's Tavern tonight? Come on. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And see, so he's just, like, because to begin to look at it like that, and I think the cool word, like disciples of Jesus, all that means is disciplined to his teaching.
Yeah.
And that's all they're trying to do is you guys got to discipline yourself a little bit. You see? And but they keep right at it, So then he says, but blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the King. And blessed are the strong in heart, for they shall not be cast about by every wind that blows. And the wind's symbolic of all the crazy thoughts that we're always being introduced to or try to influence us. If we're grounded in, who we really are, we'll stay disciplined, we'll stay on our path, which is very cool, And so then at the end he says, O men of Israel, take heed to what this prophet has to say. Be strong in mind, be pure in heart, be valiant in helpfulness, the kingdom is at hand. And so Jesus is saying, come on, follow what John's telling you, because John is purity, purify your thoughts, your heart, your mind, because that prepares the way for the love or Christ. So Jesus and John were second or third cousins. I don't know. Mary and Elizabeth were second cousins. Elizabeth's mom of John, Mary's Jesus. So I don't know what that makes them. I don't know how you count that down.
And wasn't John older than Jesus?
No,
but they were the same age?
They were about 4 months apart.
Okay. That's the same age.
Yeah. So it's, but the thing with the Aquarian, what we're doing is we're looking at having a relationship with life and a relationship with God. And this divine plan that unfolded, it just wasn't an accident or a mystery, a lot of people knew about it. The Essene people, that Mary was a sect of Jewish people who were really a lot more spiritual. They lived out away. They were basically spiritual people, lived with the earth, were tradesmen, carpenters, potters, artisans, and then they'd go in the city, and that's how they would make their money. But they lived a simple, pure life. And so they were really awaiting the Messiah. And so it was all prepared. And so there were people all over that whole area that had their own little community connection. And so that when they traveled, they always had a place to stay. There was always people welcoming them and everything. And that's what's really neat about beginning to understand the whole connection of this transformation that was going on. It was really a big organization. Loose-knit.
Yeah.
But still.
And that's a good example of the changing your perspective on life. If you do what you got to do and stay on your path, you'll always be supported. You always have little places to go that'll always have a little home for you. It's symbolically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the whole thing is like, to begin to the whole teachings of Jesus is living. It's not reading and studying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not dying.
That's the old way. They always say, oh look, Jesus didn't teach laws. Jesus told promises. Do this and this will happen. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, believe in me. Yeah. And the Father that sent me, ask and you shall receive. How's that? That's a promise. I think right now we're beginning to move into the consciousness as we have a relationship with life to really have faith that when we say a prayer or ask or communicate with God or even our brothers and sisters, that something good is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what having faith is. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know that we're going to stand on that, and that's what we say, that's the authority of the Christ. It really is. So it's cool. And that's what I think the transformation on the planet right now is like people letting go of the old and just being open and to our hearts so that we can receive.